Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Good morning! Super stoked today because last night we put on the nurse back wing. It's so sick, it's ridiculous.
Let's begin now.
We even did the original black trunk that Bertie had and he had the wing actually color matched and painted. So black wing, black trunk on my white car with the black hood. It's so sick. But anyways, I'm here at Country Hills Toyota, and we've got my car in for a couple of things. Got to check my my alignment. I set up my own wheels, so probably needs a little tweak. I got keyed, as you probably know if you watch my videos. My carbon hood got keyed, like so brutal. I don't know what people think, you know. But anyhow, they're going to see if they can sand it out and just clear coat it, because of course the whole point of having a carbon hood is to have a carbon hood. And then couple of tweaks on my lights. If you haven't noticed, my halos have been acting up again. A couple of times we've had these halos in and out, so we're gonna see if either we replace them or fix them or something. And new windshield, and then by the time you see this, I'll have a new banner from our friends at Kings Must Rise and Bertie. Yeah, buddy. So today, what are we driving? We're gonna drive this for a couple of days. Today we're driving the RAV4, and we're actually looking to replace the Equinox. I had a long Equinox video. You can check out the link. I'll put it in the contents below. We've had a great time with its Equinox. It's 2011, I believe, so we're hitting 5-6 years. Just hit 100,000 kilometers, so you can tell we don't put a lot of miles on. But reliability has been an issue. Lots of recalls and service bulletins. We've been doing a lot of work on that car, even though it drives great and handles great all winter. So the closest thing from Toyota, RAV4. So let's check this out for a couple of days and do a little RAV4 comparison. This model is a 2016 LE, so it's a pretty basic model, but I think we'll have a lot of fun. All right, check it out. All right, so first things first, any Toyota you get into, the audio system and the Bluetooth hookups, even if you have an iPhone Ford, sorry, I'm knocking on Ford. If you haven't seen my Ford video, they've got some bizarre Microsoft Bluetooth audio setup, which could never connect to my phone. So I'm in the car for like 2 minutes. I'm on the phone. My music's hooked up. The Bluetooth in Toyota is amazing. Super simple. Thank you. Hello, backup camera. Nice. Good morning. Morning in the RAV4. And the gods are with me because I woke up this morning and it was a snowstorm last night. Man, middle of April. Only in Calgary you wake up and it's snow on the ground everywhere. But luckily, Hero's in the shop and the summer tires are on the car, so I don't have to worry about it because I'm driving a RAV4. Gotta love it. Back to Calgary traffic. It's one totally funny thing about driving in a normal car. I'm used to having my windows like completely blacked out so people can't see me. And so when you're in a normal like pedestrian car and you're like rocking to the tunes and stuff, people are looking at you from other cars and they're like making faces and stuff. Like, dude, don't worry about it. I think even if I bought a RAV4, I would totally black out the windows. So morning commute in the RAV4. As a daily car, there's a ton of room inside. I'm not used to all this space out in front of me, so it's kind of funky. You know, even compared to our Equinox, there isn't as much room in the front of you. The one thing though that's really odd in this car, maybe I need to figure out the settings better with the seats. The seat has like that means to like drop it back and kind of tilt it. But I can't get it to go lower down. And compared to driving the FRS, obviously, I'm used to being right on the ground. This is really weird. It feels like I'm like a truck driver, like I'm up so high. I'm not in the most comfortable position for driving, honestly. Like I feel comfortable sitting, but the steering wheel feels like it's low down by my knees. Not sure about that. But the power delivery, man. This little 4-cylinder's got some kick. Took the kids to school today and Jack's like, "John, this is fast. I don't know if it's fast like your car, but it's fast." And that was actually one of my concerns for highway driving, but had it out on the freeway yesterday and you know, 140, no problem. Seriously though, I gotta figure out this seat. It's quite annoying. I think I can make it drop down. You have to like drop it and it kind of tilts back. Drop, 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 drop. And then I can move it up a little bit just to get me, you know, I like this position when I'm driving so the steering wheel's in my chest. And that's about the best I can do with this steering wheel. Better, better. It's like the low life. You're used to riding in a car where everything is right in your hands and right in your chest. And I'm trying to find an SUV that feels like that. Aww. Insert disclaimer from Toyota. We don't infer or recommend that it's safe to adjust your seat and your steering column while you're driving downtown in traffic. But I'm getting there, it's getting better. So I dropped this all the way. Telescope does have telescopic steering, so I bring it all the way back. The seat, I've got it dropped pretty much that's it. That's as low as it goes. And then I pull it up. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, I take it back. The seating's not so crazy. I just needed to figure out all the options. Sweet. Race car. All right, creature comforts in the RAV4. I have to say, this is the LE model. Of course, we've got power, all of our heat controls, sport mode, eco mode, seat heaters, cruise control, you know, hand controls on the steering wheel. I'm not a big fan of those, but they've got them. Electronic mirrors, electric everything, pretty good dash display. Actually has a tack. You know, I've never seen many SUVs that have one. And this, you know, whole info center and everything for Toyota is always super easy to use. I showed yesterday, I've got my phone hooked up. It's already got my history in there. All your car settings. I haven't gone through all this, but I'm sure there's tons of things you can know. And then back to audio. And the sound, like, I'm sorry, Hero, but this got a better sound system than my car.
Drill.
Repeat, this is not a drill.
that all you got?
Let's begin now.
What up?
So the RAV4 used to come in a V6, which maybe was a little bit of overkill. It had some great power and good highway speed, but as far as fuel economy and being an everyday car, I don't think you really need it. My parents actually had the old one, and for how small the old RAV4 was, yeah, a little bit of overkill. So this has the 4-cylinder. It actually has a lot of power. We were laughing because my son said, hey, it's pretty fast. I don't know if this is like fast, like your car fast, but it's pretty fast. But cruising speeds on the highway, 140, 160, no problem. And in town, you got to watch yourself because it'll actually get going. You can get yourself going fast enough to get into some trouble. But the throttle is very responsive. The steering, same thing, really responsive. You don't feel as much as you do, of course, in a sports car, but for everyday driving, it still has a good feel. The other thing, being an SUV, check out the clearance on this. So I like that they've got that little scoop in the front, but it definitely has a dip to the front. So maybe not the highest SUV, but I like that it's that kind of car style, like it's a more sporty SUV. Let's have a look inside. Whew, that's some crazy weather. So like I said, I've been driving this for the whole week now, and I've had a lot of fun. The one thing I like, this is the LE model. It's has everything you need. And I honestly don't know, I was talking to the guys, I don't know if I would go to the next model. Unless you're really fixed on leather, and I don't know what else they could add as far as, you know, maybe having sat nav and that kind of stuff. But in this price level of car, if you're in that $35,000 mark in Canada, I think the LE, or, you know, I looked at the LEX and I don't have the spec sheet, but it had some cool white stitching on the seats. And honestly, that would be one thing that would probably turn me over for the extra, I don't know what it would be. Maybe an extra $50 or $60 a month if you were gonna buy it and make payments. But otherwise, a couple of cool things about driving the car that I really like. Most of the SUVs I've driven, and you've seen the my Equinox, and I drove in the Ford Escape, no handbrake. The handbrake in this, you see in my video, I'll drop it right here. There's something about being in any car, when you get in and you don't have a handbrake, you just kind of like, you feel like, what am I driving? Am I driving a pickup here, or am I driving a car? Having a handbrake in the RAV4 is amazing, fantastic. The other thing I mentioned last time I was in the car too was getting that seating position right. I'm sure when this comes from the factory, is probably like in the highest, like weirdest upright bus driver position. I've dropped the seat back and as low as it can go, brought the steering out as far as it goes, telescopic steering, and dropped it down as low as it can go. And I'm actually in a position now where it feels like I'm in a car, not like I'm driving a pickup. All right, backseat driver. So in the back seat, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6 feet, and this is with my seating position in the driver's seat. I've got the seat back pretty far because my legs are pretty long. I can still fit back here, no problem. I've got 2 kids, and we're gonna use this back seat a lot if we get one of these, so that's key for us. Otherwise, it's got quite a bit of room. The one thing different about this setup than the Chevy, the seat is very vertical. And so, you know, just a funny thing if you have kids, if I'm thinking about my daughter sitting back here with her booster seat falling asleep, it's probably not quite as comfortable as some of the other cars. But as far as, you know, aesthetics and finish, and you know, I would take this over a Corolla in a minute. The one thing missing in these back seats, if you're a Chevy owner, is trying to figure out, if you got kids, they've got cups, they've got drinks, they've got food, all that stuff you don't want in any other car. The Chevy has cup holders in the doors and a cup holder down the center, and this one has this tiny little cup holder in the middle, but not great. It's kind of awkward. They could do a better job there. Small victory. I was just saying this might be a little bit vertical in the back seat for the kids. This handle that releases the seat to go forward actually does let the seat recline. Now we're talking. So yeah, the kids would have no problem having a nap back here as long as I don't feel the back too much. It's really snowing now. All right. So one more thing in the back of the car. It's got a 60-40 split seat. So if you're going to be hauling things in the back of the car, don't mind my camera, we just flip the seat down and you've got lots of room. You still have room if you have kids to have one more with a booster seat or car seat on the extra seat on the small side. There's a bit of a hump here instead of laying perfectly flat like some of the Dodge vehicles, you know, that have the fold-over seat. But I think this actually gives you more room front to back. And what we do sometimes is we'll have, you know, myself, and I'm taking the kids to school, gonna go for a bike ride, or my wife's got her Ironman bikes in the back. It gives us room to have stuff in the car and still have two kids. Because, hey, we can't get rid of the kids. All right, around the back of the car, easy lift up, but like a lot of Toyotas, it's underneath where that light is and where your license plate is. It's always dirty, so if Toyota could figure out a way to have that kind of hidden or protected from the weather, that'd be great. That's pretty fussy, I know, but is what it is. In the back, my best guess, we travel with like 4 suitcases, a bunch of ski boots, lots of stuff for our kids. It's identical to the size of the back of the Equinox, only the back window is more vertical. And so I think we could actually get more in here. And the other thing I really love is the back of this car. It's exactly tailgate party size. So you can sit down flat, you know, take off your ski boots, your bike gear, have a beer in the back of the car. I know it's silly, but when you look at a lot of vehicles, some of them have those flop down tails and then the window lifts up. I really like this style, and you're protected from the weather. So I can sit here in the snow and make a YouTube video, or just, you know, get out of my gear and celebrate a good day. As far as features in the back, I'm not looking for a whole lot, honestly. There's a few tie down spots that are nice. We actually sometimes bungee our stuff, you know, when you got hard boots and things you don't want flying around. The one opportunity, probably, there's no power jack back here. I'm a little bit fussy that way, you know, especially people with a lot of camera gear, or, you know, you want to be using an outlet when you're done skiing. Even in the Tacomas, they actually have an outlet in the back of the truck. So maybe in the luxury editions they have that, but as far as the price from the LE or the LEX up to the deluxe versions, I actually forget what the name is, sorry Toyota. I think this is great. I don't know what I would add to this car. So other than, like I said, I like the white stitching on the LEX seats. I think this is pretty cool. All right, so one silly feature from my Equinox that's been the bane of my existence for, I think we've had it 5 years now. That's pretty crazy. We had that 5 years. The roof rack system. So here we go, lovely standard roof rack covered in snow. For you Thule fans, if you have Thule racks for bikes, and, you know, if you're hauling boards or, you know, skis and snowboards, these standard factory racks, I actually have Thule adapters that actually clip right onto here, and so I can use my same rack. I've used it with a bunch of different vehicles, Toyotas, Chevy Blazers, like different cars, and they've worked on everything. In the Equinox, if you don't order that rack with your car from the factory, there isn't actually a factory Thule rack that's made to fit on an Equinox, which is just a pain in the ass. And once you order a factory vehicle, I didn't want to go back and have the dealer install the factory roof rack. So I probably should have, but we never did. So I think this is the way to go. And then I still have my rack, so we'll just snap it on the roof if we get one of these. All right, let's check out under the hood on this beast. Don't get too excited. I can feel the latch, but I can't get it. There we go. All right, so anyone's been looking, it's a silly thing, but one thing I love about Toyota is you look under the hood and it's super clean. You need to get in here and do some work. You don't have to take off half a dozen plastic panels to get to the engine, to get to your battery. It's a super clean engine bay, and you know, for myself, like I said, the engine's got enough torque and, you know, enough speed to just be a daily and drive around and go on trips. I would still probably put in the sprint booster just for fun. Maybe I have to teach my wife how to turn it off if she doesn't like that jerky feeling. But really, like I said, I think you get enough out of this engine for the size of this car, and it's a great value. All right, Toyota stock tires. This is a 2016 model, and I know there's been some upgrades on the 2017. But it's pretty amazing to me to look at this car and see it's a 17-inch wheel. It's a 225/65. It's actually got a bigger tire than the stock tire that's on the FRS. You know, and that Primacy tire, we're not even gonna talk about it. I mean, it's a funny tire to have in that car, but this Latitude Tour HP from Michelin is actually a really nice driving tire. When you're on the highway, it doesn't make a lot of noise. It's an all-season tire, so we would definitely still have a winter tire that we would flip on here. The nice thing is my Equinox has 17, so we would actually just keep our winter tires and flip them onto this when we're done. But all around a really smooth tire, and still inspires some confidence if you're a guy who's used to driving a fast car and you like to push it a little bit. So, you know, sometimes it's hard being a car guy, because even if you're looking at an SUV, you want to get a GoPro shot, right? And so I actually forgot my suction cup, and it's freezing cold and snowing anyways. So I'm actually going to do a little trick here with the Joby and see if I can hook this on and get a video. Just did a little power slide with the GoPro on the Joby outside, hanging onto the door handle. This is a fun little car. Man, like I can't even call it an SUV. It feels so much smaller when you're driving it than the Ford and the Chevy. And yeah, and it's got cool places to mount your GoPro. Check it out. And the GoPro. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see. Hopefully the snow stops before I have to pick up the FRS, because you know how I love driving in the snow. But yeah, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers. So RAV4, I'm giving the RAV4 thumbs up. It's been a lot of fun. You know you're having a good day when you're driving a RAV4 and you smell rubber.